Carroll bringing it forward. Thompson's making the run. Carroll hangs on to it though. Still Davy Carroll. Could go all the way here. Oh, what a goal!
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Ringing the Blues, the official Wycombe Wanderers podcast in partnership with Virgin Media. It's the first one of 2025, so Happy New Year, one and all. On the show this week, we have all the action and reaction from the game against Blackpool at Adams Park. Tim Rickman joins us for Til Death Us Do part all the way from Australia. But first, let's kick things off with our first trip to Mexico City for this year. It's over to Uri with the results.
We are ringing the blues from Mexico City. It's me, Uri. Happy New Year. Here are the first results of League One for 2025. Burton Albion 0, Northampton Town 1. Cambridge United 0, Bristol Rovers 1. Barnsley 3, Crawley Town 0. Charlton Athletic 0, Reading 0. Exeter City 1, Bolton Wanderers 2, Huddersfield Town 0, Rotherham United 0, Leyton Orient 1, Shrewsbury Town 0, Lincoln City 0, Stevenage 0, Stockport County 1, Mansfield Town 2, Wigan Athletic 0, Birmingham City 3, Wrexham 1, Peterborough United 0, Wycombe Wanderers 1, Blackpool 1. So Wycombe went down to 10 men after Alex Hartridge was sent off for 2 yellow card offenses. So Chairboys Spanish this week, 2 yellow cards equals a red. So how do we say yellow? Amarillo. Yellow, amarillo. Red, rojo. Red, rojo. 2, that's one easy. Dos, 2, 2. Cards, cartas o tarjetas. Cards, tarjetas. Equals, equivale. Equals, equivale. So 2 yellow cards equals a red. 2 tarjetas amarillas equivalen a una roja. That's it for this week, and back to England with mi amigo Filiberto Cachapollos. Adios!
Cheers, Uri. Magnificent as ever in 2025. Right then, Blackpool made the trip down from the snowy northwest to take on Wycombe at Adams Park. Here's what happened. Charlie Goff joined us on commentary. Blackpool bring it forwards with Fletcher. Fletcher rolls it out wide to Abter. The fires on the overlap. Hartridge is alert. He sides him down. Poorly timed tackle by Hartridge, and it's a yellow card for the centre-back.
Yeah, Fire was just a little bit too quick for him there, wasn't he? And he got sort of on his toes, and Hartridge has gone in for the tackle, and he's just sort of miscued it and gave away a free kick.
Second yellow of the game. First one on Josh going for handball, and then that one for Alex Hartridge, and a few complaints on, I think, for that one. And Blackpool's equaliser, poor header back, allows Kone in, penalty surely, yes it is. Yeah. A Fire's header back to Pennington left him in all sorts of trouble. Kone got there first and Pennington wiped him out, and Kone's in real pain on the floor, and this will be a concerning one for Wycombe because his fitness will be key.
Yeah, I think that just shows the striker Richard Kone is. He doesn't give up on anything. He's always alert, always ready for a mistake from the Blackpool players. And yeah, like you said, he was alert to that and got in between, just in behind the centre half. And like you said, Kone's on the floor now. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious. But it'll be interesting to see who takes the penalty as well now. Obviously, Aaron Moore, who's gone back, and obviously Labala, I think, was the one named last game, but he's out with illness as well. So
Labala was the nominative penalty taker. Gareth McCleary's got the ball in his hands and he goes to the penalty spot, but that doesn't mean he's taking the penalty, because we've seen several times that Wycombe Wanderers send someone forwards to take the heat.
He's come back here, so
it looks like it will be Gareth McCleary. Wycombe have had several penalties saved though this season, so it's going to be Kone. Kone, whose last penalty was saved, went to the keeper's right as the keeper looks at it, to the left as we look at it now. Harry Tyra versus Richard Kone. 39 minutes on the clock from the penalty spot then. Here comes Kone, right-footed, scores, goes straight down the middle. And Wycombe Wanderers have the lead, and Richard Kone has his 13th league goal of the season. Wycombe 1, Blackpool 0.
Yeah, won the penalty and stepped up and took it and put it in the back of the net, and I think that shows the type of player he is, and he's got that sort of mindset to step up. He's missed a few, but he still wants to take it on for the team, and he's sort of stuck it down the middle this time rather than picking the side, and played it safe and went down the middle, predicting that the goalkeeper would dive, and he did. So.
Ball whipped in by Lee He. Oh, and Joe Lowe. The flag has stayed down, and Joe Lowe is 4 yards from goal, centrally placed, and he's put it over the bar.
Somehow has ended up all the way over the terrace as well.
It's a yellow card for a Blackpool player here, who is it's the skipper, isn't it? It's his husband, who's glancing across at the assistant referee saying, where's the offside flag? I think Joe Lowe would quite like to see the offside flag there to kind of spare his blushes. Ball down the line. Alex Hartridge comes across and fouls his man, and Hartridge is on a yellow. Lee Evans very quick to go to the referee to get in his ear here, and Hartridge gets away from the scene of the crime very quickly indeed.
Yeah, he's lucky there, because I don't think if he's not on a yellow card, that probably would have been given as a yellow card, but it's not. The referee hasn't deemed it quite enough to be a red.
Well, he's gone now to talk to the assistant ref. Oh, and this could be trouble now for Hartridge. He's being called across. The pocket has the hand going into it, and it is a second yellow for Alex Hartridge. Wycombe are down to 10. Referee Simon Mather going to his assistant referee for counsel on this one. And Wycombe down to 10. Alex Hartridge sent off. Out wide, Apter. Morgan again, and it's in! The equaliser for Blackpool. The pressure has told. It's sailed up over Ravazoli. There's been a lot of balls put into the Wycombe area in this second half. And this time they found a way through. Morgan had made the run, it went back to Apter. Morgan clipped it, and it's stabbed home by Kyle Joseph. 1-1 the score, and that has completely sucked the atmosphere out of Adams Park now. 93 minutes on the clock. Gaffer, frustration at the end there, pegged back for the 1-1 draw.
Yeah, it's a mixture of disappointment, frustration and pride, I think, at this moment, and what I'm feeling, because to get so close with 10 men and to go for so long and limit our opposition to shots outside the box. I know Franco's had to make one down to his right soon after we went down to 10. But after that, it was shots outside the box. We were disciplined. We defended 17 crosses, I think, and I thought Joey was amazing in the middle of the goal, defending crosses. Like I say, we were disciplined. Brands come on and was amazing in his work rate, and to a man, they were fantastic, and I think it was a real sucker punch for it to be so late and slow motion. So yeah, really disappointed, but proud of the group, the way they applied themselves. And I think that, you know, we had a couple of other chances, didn't hit the target, and you know, for our XG to be 2.5 times our opposition when we played so long with 10 men, it's a tough one to take.
It was a long time with 10 men. Red card coming in the 55th minute. Your view on it? 2 yellows.
Yeah, I think. What do I think? I think it was tough because I think it was 2 yellows, but there was other tackles that were very similar that weren't given as yellow cards, so it makes it feel a bit random. And then there's offside in the corner that's taken in the middle of the goal kick where the ball's rolling. So little things, but I think ultimately, was it 2 yellows? Probably in my mind, yeah. Was there other very, very similar challenges that weren't given a yellow card? Yeah. So does it make it a bit random? Yeah.
the red cards happen over a season. It hasn't really affected us in the league this season. I guess they come, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of the game. You have to be ready to guard against it, and you have to manage it when those moments come along. And I think the thing I was most proud about is that Wycombe spirit is still there. I know we speak about it a lot. I feel the immense amount of responsibility to retain our Wycombe spirit, and that was there, absolutely. We got so close to getting it over the line. I'm not sure where 6 minutes of injury time came from either. That's felt, considering the amount of stoppages we've had in other games, felt a bit long, if I'm honest, but yeah, it is what it is. We take a point and we move on.
The 5 minutes after the red card, it was a bit of an onslaught from Blackpool, and you shuffled the pack. Talk us through those tactical changes, because they looked like they were going to pay off. Yeah,
ultimately, I think it was first and foremost we need to get Deck on the pitch, and Cams was the one position that we could probably do without. And then there was 5 minutes just to get ourselves used to it. Once that 5 minutes passed, I thought we were very good in a mid to low block. Then we needed fresh legs at the top of the pitch because it was going to be hard work, and we've come off a really busy schedule. Ouds and Giddy in wide areas, and I thought Brown's was just immense. His work great, and but that's taking it away from everyone else. That's what we felt we needed. We needed that energy, we needed that freshness, and at that point it looked like we were restricting them to shots outside the box, and it was obviously a scruffy goal and one we were really frustrated with.
And talk us through the Wycombe goal. Richard Coney, it's a certain penalty, but calmness from the spot, considering he had his last one saved.
Yeah, it was, and fair play to him. He's a goal scorer, isn't he? So to step up again and take the responsibility. Again, tweaking the rules. The defender's the last man, brings him down, but doesn't get sent off because now the rules have been changed. Whereas we lose a defender for 2-0 tackles, 40 yards from goal.
There we are. 2 double blows really at the back as well. Caleb Taylor going back to West Brom. Now Alex Hartridge will be suspended. So that's 2 missing from where we were a week ago, with games coming thick and fast.
Yeah. It's obviously, it is what it is. We knew that there was a threat of Caleb going back. Now the red card coming thick, we've got to pick ourselves up. Listen, we're disappointed and frustrated, but we're fighting. We've got a game on Tuesday night, and I just said to the boys in the change room, take your medicine, be disappointed that it went, but be proud. And if I see anyone not smiling on Monday morning, I'm not going to be happy. We're here to fight, and we'll go again. We'll pick ourselves up because we've got a tough game Tuesday night against Huddersfield.
And it's a great League One game as well on Tuesday night. I don't think anyone else is playing in our division, and it's 2 teams at the right end of the table, really going at each other.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I say, Duff's done a great job. They've invested heavily in their squad, and they've got a very, very good squad. But we are so proud of the job our boys are doing, and we'll be looking forward to it.
Cold one today, but the fans turned up and got behind. They realised they needed to make the difference in the second half and got behind the boys.
Yeah, they really did. They really did. And I need to say thank you again to them for their backing of the group, because especially with 10 men, they really kind of were galvanising us and cheering us on. So I'm frustrated for them, but thank you for your support, especially on such a cold day. All the expense of all these games coming so quickly, and the home games coming so quickly, the expense of coming out to the football. So thank you for them, especially at Christmas with everything else. So we look forward to seeing them again on Tuesday.
Good to hear from the gaffer after the game against Blackpool. No opposition view this week. Extra week off for those guys for good behaviour. And if you are chilly this Friday, then make sure you come to visit Virgin Media in the car park ahead of kickoff. They'll be handing out hot chocolates to warm us all up. And we'll be back after a message from our sponsors with Til Death Us Do part. There's been a rumour that there's a new lightning-fast player in town, and I can confirm these rumours are correct. Virgin Media is here and is guaranteed to be a crowd pleaser. If you're tired of your broadband giving you the blues every time you want to do something, fear not. Virgin Media are right here in Wycombe and have brought their lightning-fast full fibre to the area to keep you entertained in between matches. Tuck into as many live sporting events, movies, games and tunes as your heart desires. Not forgetting our podcast with unlimited downloads on Virgin Media's intelligent Wi-Fi. All delivered at the speeds you need to keep the whole house happy. And the best part is, you don't need to wait until the next transfer window to make Virgin Media your favourite signing of the season. Find out more at virginmedia.com or drop into your local O2 store. New customers only, eligible Virgin Fibre areas only, subject to survey, network capacity and credit check. Supporting a football club is like a marriage. Your club is there for life through the good times and the bad. We ask Chairboys fans for their most cherished old memory, their current favourite player, the best borrowed player we've ever had, and for something blue, we talk club merchandise.
This week we're a little bit outside of Buckinghamshire today. We've gone to the other side of the world in Australia to see Wycombe Wanderers fan Tim Rickman. Tim, season's greetings. How are you?
Yeah, same to you, Phil. Very well, thanks. I think the weather's a little different here to where it is back in the UK. We're hitting the heights of summer, so I've been dealing with mid-30s heat waves this week. And I'm coming back shortly to slightly different weather, I think, and it's Sunday evening here, and I know it's pretty bright and early on a Sunday morning for you.
Absolutely. So where exactly in Australia are you?
So I'm in Melbourne, Victoria. So I'm in a suburb called Templestowe, about half an hour northeast of the city in Melbourne. So just on the edge of the Yarra River. So nice part of the world. Been here, left the UK in 2003 with the intention of travelling around the world and then coming back to the UK, and I never made it back. So I've been living in Australia since 2003. So hence the weird accent that we discussed earlier. And love it. Very settled here. Got a family here, but obviously my whole family is still back in the UK. So I grew up locally, and my parents and my brother and sister and nieces and nephews and so on are all back there. So a lot of ties back to the UK still.
Amazing. And one big tie, obviously, that we can see now for those watching the video version of this is your love for Wycombe Wanderers, which has not died by the look of it. So what's your story with Wycombe Wanderers? How does that all get started?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Wycombe's been a part of my life for a long time. It was actually a bit of not a strange start, but just a bit left of centre. My dad was friends with, I don't know whether you recall, Rod Lavers, who used to be the groundsman.
Yes.
Back in the day. He was the groundsman at Lokes Park, and then when they moved across to Adams Park. So my dad was a member of a running club with Rod, and I think Rod had invited him to go to one of the games, and he brought me along. And so my first game was 1988, which I'm pretty sure it was Welling United at home. And I'm pretty sure, I was doing a little bit of research for this, I'm pretty sure that day we had Dion Dublin on loan playing for us.
Okay, so straight in, you've got the stairs going up to the bedrooms.
Yeah, so that was my first ever game, and I was hooked from there. I was mad keen on football. Played a fair bit from a young age with an older brother I used to just follow around and kick balls with, and was pretty football obsessed and super keen to go and watch games, and found a local team to go and watch. So I'm very glad that Dad had the connection with Wycombe, and I was able to go along. But so managed to get to a few games back in the day at Lokes Park. Probably not particularly regularly at that point. It was a bit sporadic, depending on whether my dad wanted to go. But certainly got to a few games at Lokes Park before we moved across, and great memories of that ground. Obviously, pretty unique place, and just being able to wander around the ground as a kid wherever you wanted, and and the slopey pitch, obviously, and really great memories for there, but obviously fantastic when we moved across to Adams Park.
Absolutely.
So, and look, I ended up, back in the day when I was a teenager, we didn't have an academy at Wycombe, but we had like a junior football set up, and I actually played for the Wycombe juniors from under 12s to under 16s. So
wow,
we were called the Wycombe Wanderers Lions at that point. So that was great. Good connection to the club. Came along, and we were on the pitch a few times and so on. And actually, funnily enough, before I joined Wycombe, I played at Maidenhead. And the first team that I played in as a 9-year-old, I was on the left wing, and Kevin Betsy was on the right wing for my team. The
wow,
player.
Amazing.
So, me and Betsy played as young kids for a couple of years, which was great. It's good to see him push on as he did.
Fantastic. So what does your sort of match day look like these days? Because obviously there's a 11-hour time difference. Is that right?
Currently 11 hours. Depends on the time of year. So our summer, your winter is 11 hours, but then the other way around, it's 9 hours. So currently, the the Saturday kickoffs are a challenging 2 a.m. start on a Sunday. Must admit, I don't get to see every game. Although the Bolton game the other day was a bit of a luxury. That was a 6:45 in the morning. So
that's a lion. That's a lion for you.
100%. As I pointed out to you during the game, the dogs weren't happy about it because I'm normally on a good long walk with them at that time of day, so they were pretty grumpy. But it was so that's good. And then like when it's a 9-hour difference, it's a little bit more appetising as like a midnight kickoff. But I think being in Australia for so long, like you're kind of used to watching a lot of football in the middle of the night, whether it's Wycombe or World Cups or European Championships and so on. There's and even Olympics and so on. There's rarely been any that are close to our time zone, given how isolated we are down here. Amazing. So normally you're watching them at silly hours of the day, normally with a cup of tea rather than a beer. But
Well, let's go. Right, let's get stuck into the questions then. So we have to do something old. Your favourite ever Wycombe Wanderers memory. What is it?
Oh man, I've got too many. To mention. Like there's so many memories from like when I was a teenager. I had a season ticket when we were in the conference. So with my dad, used to go home and away to most games. And, we went everywhere, all the FA Trophy runs and everything, Altrincham away, Sutton United away, the Wembley trips with Kidderminster and Runcorn was all of those. So they were all fantastic memories. And even just, I really enjoyed the period of time when we were in the conference. Obviously, it was fantastic when we got promoted, but, the rivalries with Slough and Colchester. And I was at the game when Scott Barrett scored from his own penalty box. Hit by Colchester, and I went to the and then we were desperately trying to catch up our goal difference with them. I was went to the they're now Dagenham and Redbridge, but Redbridge Forest when we beat them 5-0, and I think we scored about 4 goals in the first half because we were trying to get double figures to try and catch Colchester and didn't quite make it. So
and Colchester United were at that game, but they weren't playing for some reason, and all of their squad came down to watch that game too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. It was a pretty decent atmosphere going on there. But that was a significant rivalry. So I've always keeping my fingers crossed that they get relegated out of League Two. But they seem to hold on every single year at the moment. But anyway, but I think when I was sort of reflecting back on it, it was a tough one between two. I think the playoff final against Preston.
Yeah,
was just phenomenal. I reckon I hugged half of Wembley after that game. That was just unbelievable, and Simon Garner was just sensational that season, and obviously Dave Carroll's goal and just the whole team. That whole experience was brilliant. But I actually picked one, which was my sort of first match where I was just like, oh wow, I was really, really, hooked. Was the and we didn't end up winning, but the West Brom home and away. In the non-league when we took them to a replay, and I went to the away replay at the Hawthorns, and it was the first time I'd been to a proper big stadium, and it was with my little Wycombe, and it was just phenomenal, and they were a really good side, and we pushed them, all the way, only lost 1-0, and I was just delighted by that, just the whole experience, to kind of feel that we could actually match it with a massive club, at the time being a non-league and so on. So I had really good memories of that one.
I remember the home game being on TV.
Guppy again with the corner kick, and Creaser has put it in, and Wycombe Wanderers may still have a say in this FA Cup second round tie. Just over 5 minutes of normal time remaining, and Wycombe finishing very strong. Thompson this time gets a deflection, it's gone in! And they've done it! Wycombe Wanderers have got the equaliser. Stuart Naylor, the keeper, may not be too pleased.
That day against West Brom, it seemed that the rest of the country sort of caught up with what was going on at Wycombe and thought, hold on a minute, these guys, new stadium, looks good, team's playing well, Martin O'Neill could be onto something here. And that was a day I think the country kind of woke up to us a bit.
I think so too. We'd been, obviously we'd had a few years in the conference pushing for promotion, and, we were definitely sort of starting to become a bigger fish in a little pond, but then stepping up into the Football League, we were still pretty unknown. And I think we still maintain a lot of the viewpoint of being like a non-league side, really. I know that sort of sounds silly to say that, we've been in the Championship and we're, pretty settled in League One, but I think you can sort of apply that to sort of culturally and how, we look after people, but still a relatively small club. I think we maintain some of that charm, some of that kind of closeness between the fans and the players, and, whilst also now being, very well recognised, not just on the national but international stage, which is also great to see, but also great that we hold on to the true essence of, what Wycombe's all about. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I love it.
Right, so on to the modern day. Something new, your favourite player in the current squad? Another tough question.
It's way too tough. It's way too tough. It really is. I don't think anyone, hand on heart, can say that there's one player above us. I mean, look, I was going to kind of have a bit of a cheating way out of it and sort of say, look, all of them, really. And the reason why I said that to start with, again, it sort of goes back to the culture side of things. I think that they all buy into what we're all about so well. And this group of players, particularly, when you hear them speak, they're all very, consistent and, say the same things. They're very well obviously drilled by Blooms and the team, but they all obviously buy into what we're all about. And very supportive of each other. I love the fact that we've got a really good deep squad now, but they're embracing the rotation. They're embracing everyone getting a go, and they're supportive of the team's success above the individual. So that's really fantastic to see, and a good mix of youth and experienced players. Look, I think if I had to really pick one person, I'd probably have to say King Kone up front. Yes. I think having someone who's such a natural goal scorer is just, fantastic. I don't think there's anything more exciting than having someone who's dangerous around the box and got great skills. He's still got a lot of, as a number of people said, got some development to go. He's still young and raw, but so much potential there, and always dangerous when he's around the ball. So if I had to pick someone, I'd go for Richard Kone. But I said the whole squad are fantastic to watch.
Great thing about Richard Kone, though, is the backstory of him playing in the Essex Senior League. And I think I say it quite a lot on commentary. I love watching him kick League One defenders, and he doesn't care, does he? He's not frightened by the physical side of the game, is he?
No, not at all. And and for someone so young and obviously coming from overseas and so on, like, he's just like duck to water. He's taken them to League One, and and he's not just come from non-league. He's come from low down the pyramid, and you kind of and you can I've seen that over the years. Sometimes you see like these players who are very successful in the lower leagues, and you kind of go, oh, I wonder if it would be worth taking a punt on them. And and sometimes clubs have, and Wycombe have, occasionally in the past, and maybe it's a step too far, but for him it seems like it's just no problem. And like you said, he has his good games and his not so good games, same as anyone else. But when he's on, geez, he just like you said, goes around kicking players around and winning balls and holding the ball up and setting up play and scoring goals. Does a bit of everything. He's great fun to watch.
Yeah, well, Richard Kone, first entry into the Til Death Us Do Part Hall of Fame. So you'd always have that, Tim, as your thing. So
I'm surprised, but well deserved, absolutely.
Oh, fantastic. Right, on to something borrowed then. So your favourite ever loanee or player that you'd wish that we'd signed but never did, who's it to be?
Again, none of these questions are easy, Phil, but... I
don't like to make things easy, Tim. Never.
No, mate. Went around the house. I actually looked at both of those questions. Like, the first thing in terms of, like, wish had played for us. Actually, back in the day, there was a number of players, but in the majority, as a few other people have mentioned, we ended up signing most of them eventually. The likes of, I used to admire Steve Thompson when he was at Slough, and Kim Casey, always thought he was phenomenal, and then we pinched him, and despite him playing for Colchester, Steve McGavin always used to thought was a fantastic striker, and obviously we picked him up eventually. Probably one, I was thinking back to the Colchester rivalry, the one player who actually went on to have a really good career, who didn't join us, but who I always thought was really good, was their left back, was Martin Granger. He was phenomenally exciting to watch, but like dangerous going forward as a left back. And again, I was quite biased towards the left-footed player, so I always quite enjoyed quietly watching him. But then he went off, had a decent career at Brentford and a few other places. So But yeah, no. With the loanees, as a number of people have pointed out, we've had some fantastic loanees. I was at the one of I probably come back every couple of years, year or two, depending on what's going on. Been a bit more frequent recently with one of my parents' health sort of declining, but it does mean I get to some more games. But I was at the Cambridge away game when Eze just put on a masterclass. So I was there right behind his left foot curler in the top corner, and so I thoroughly enjoyed the being able to see him for the brief period of time he was with us, same as everyone else, obviously. It's been phenomenal to see him progress.
What a game! If you live on the other side of the world, what a game to happen upon when you think, you've probably got a handful of actual game live experiences. So to be there on that day, especially, I think, what a touch of luck.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I said, mate, and it depends when I come back. I as much as I would like to say that I time all of my journeys back for Wycombe games, it's obviously predominantly coming back to see family. But although one of my last trips that I brought my wife back over for, I managed to convince her that it would be a good idea to have a weekend away in Exeter. And managed to bring, because my mum's got a cousin who lives down there, so we actually had about 5 days down in Exeter, and my mum and dad came down with us as well, and had a lovely time down there, and then managed to sneak off on a Tuesday night with my dad to go and watch the Exeter game. Unfortunately, we lost 3-2. And a few of the other games I've been back for. I'm a bit of a hoodoo when it comes to away games. I probably should avoid away games when I come back, because I think I've been to the last 4 I've been to, we've lost. So I did a day trip up to Sunderland when we got smacked 4-0.
Okay.
And then Walsall away, we lost 3-2. So when I went on the supporters bus, that was actually a really good fun day. But haven't had much luck with the away games, but home games have been pretty good. But whenever I'm back, if there's games on, I'll pretty much get to any game that I can. But sometimes I'm not back during the season as well, which can be unfortunate. So can't be choosy. Basically, whatever game's on, I'm going to go to. So I arrived back on Christmas Eve, and I'm back for about 12 days. So I should be able to fit 4 games in. I think the Stevenage and Charlton away, and Exeter and Blackpool at home, I think.
That's
it is.
Right. Going back to taking your wife to Exeter, I mean, that's again another touch of luck, because Exeter's actually a lovely place to go. I'd imagine it'd have been a hard sell if you'd said, oh yeah, love, we're going to go and see Gillingham. We're going to Gillingham for the weekend. That would have been a tough sell, definitely.
Oh, Peterborough said it, yeah.
Peterborough's got a cathedral. Peterborough actually outside of the football club is not a bad city, but Gillingham would have been a tough sell.
Exeter's a lovely part of the world. It is a lovely part of the world. She found me out eventually when I was like, oh yeah, we're going down the road for the night. You go out for dinner with my mum, and I'll take my dad to the football.
So Eberechi Eze, I mean, he's a player that's been put in this feature many, many times, and it's with justification as well. But just for the fact that you managed to get to that game at Cambridge from Australia, to be there on the day that he kind of announced himself to the football world that day, didn't he? So
absolutely, yeah. No, I was very fortunate to be at that game, and it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal to see. And the 3 main guys that we've got on loan this season have been brilliant. Aaron Morley, Caleb Taylor, Cameron Humphreys. And I'd have to say, probably, I'd have to plumb for Cameron Humphreys as favourite loan player. I just think he's brilliant. If there's any way that we can hoodwink Ipswich into letting us buy him, that would be magnificent. So I just hope they don't get relegated this season. They stay in the Premier League, and we'll take him off their hands. That'd be a good outcome, I reckon.
I think the perfect outcome all round is Ipswich stay up. We get promoted, and they say, right, you've done such a good job with him in League One. He's obviously ready to play in the Championship. So let's leave him with you for another year. That would be great, right?
Yeah, 100%. No, he's you see players of that quality, they're that step ahead. I think someone else mentioned, probably talking about Cameron Humphreys, just looks like he got that little bit more time on the ball.
Yeah.
Can see the play, unfolding in front of him, and good confidence, 2-footed, very enjoyable to watch. So hopefully we can hold on to him as long as possible. That'd be great.
Well, this is a chat of firsts, the first entry into the Til Death Us Do Hall of Fame for Cameron Humphreys, and I'm sure not to be the last either, because he has been phenomenal so far, and long may that continue. Right, on to something blue. So your idea for the club shop, what's the club shop not selling that it should be?
Well, I haven't been to the club shop for a bit, so I'm not sure. I didn't study the online store to see what's in there, so I'll probably start talking about stuff that's already in there. But each time I'm back, like I said, even every couple of years, I'll go and stock up from the club shop. So whatever anyone's selling, I'll buy it. But so sort of like the staples are all great. I've got all the fridge magnets, the key rings. I even got a pennant. This is quite good, I reckon.
Lovely, yeah.
That's hanging on my office door. And, even things, I don't know, we have like branded water bottles or those kind of things. I think they're always good. But in terms of ideas, I think from listening to a few of the other podcasts, there's probably been a few things that I thought were good as well. I think having some of the classic shirts. I know we've released one recently, which is great. Yeah, the sky blue one. My favourite was the Verco one that had the club crest on the neck here.
Yeah, the 94 playoff final one.
94 playoff final one.
Yeah,
that was fantastic. Also, you remember the garish neon yellow one with all the flecks all over it.
Yeah.
From way back.
Yeah,
I love that one. And I love all of the. Any of the away kits that are quarters as well. I actually reckon it should be our club mantra that our away kit should always be quarters, but just different colours. And we can pick different colours every year. So, the red and white, yellow and blue, whatever it is. I think because quarters is so synonymous with us that I love it. And, although having the retro green kit from the 94 promotion is fantastic this year. I might have to pick that up when I'm back.
Absolutely. So some more retro shirts. The one that's just been released is actually the retro shirt from the season that you first went to a game, I think. So
Indeed.
Yeah.
I was trying to work out though, is the sponsor on the front, was that the sponsor at the time or is that a different one?
That was the sponsor at the time and a company that's still in High Wycombe and he's still trading. So
there you go.
So,
I might pick that up when I'm back as well.
So we got Mark West to wear it, a local man, a local company on the shirt, and it's a very High Wycombe retro shirt, that one. So
fantastic. Yeah, I'm not sure what the restrictions are about reproducing old shirts, but I reckon I think there's a whole trade in classic shirts nowadays. I've got a mate out here in Australia who's got the most ridiculous shirt collection you've ever seen in your life. Like he's got the most rarest shirts going. He's got a cupboard full of about 300 football shirts from all these random leagues around the world and stuff. So
wow.
Definitely a market for it.
It's a real trader. We've had Tom, Wycombe fan, we did a feature on Tom. He's got about 300 just Wycombe Wanderers kits. I think he's got every Wycombe Wanderers shirt now that's ever been commercially released, I think, bar one. And that's an incredible collection too. So, yeah, it's a real trade. Well, Tim, we'll certainly we'll look into more retro shirts. The current one's been very popular. And it's been absolutely wonderful to get your memories, mate. And,
Yeah, I've got another couple of ideas that I was going to throw around. Whether any of them will fly or not, I'm not really sure. One thing when I was a kid, I used to love was Subbuteo. I would love to have a Wycombe Wanderers Subbuteo team. Whether there'd be one produced or if anyone knows where I can get my hands on one, if that was in the club shop, I'd be all over that. That'd be fantastic. So that's one random one that probably wouldn't fly. But one that I thought about actually, my niece over here in Australia plays. She's been playing high-level basketball in Australia. She's actually now playing in the US college system at the moment. But when she played professionally here in Australia, they used to have signature like posters that they would hand out to the kids to go and get signatures from the players, and they had all of the pictures of the players, and they'd go around and after they did a whole organised thing where they'd sit at tables and all the kids would queue up and they'd sign them all and so on. But it kind of got me thinking, I used to love that when I was a kid. And like, if you had like a signature book, like just a little, A5 book that you might have one page per player and you'd have like their profile and photo and stuff, and then a space for signature, and then maybe even a space for, you could put your own photo in there. So if you got your photo with the player, pick that in the book. Like for kids to run around with, because the players are very good at going and, having photos with the kids after the game and before the game and so on. And I thought that'd be quite a nice little thing to sort of produce each season. And the kids then got to try and collect all the signatures of all the squad before the end of the season.
That's a great one. And also, to bring you back to your Sabutio idea, this is something we've been trying to make happen on Wanderers TV for a little while now. But Lee Harrison, the Wycombe Wanderers goalkeeping coach and coach, is a massive Sabutio head. And also, some of the tech staff back at Adams Park is also a massive Sabutio collector. Right. He's given us an up-to-date Wycombe Wanderers Sabutio kit, and we really want to start introducing Sabutio to some of the younger players in the squad who get very excited with their sort of FIFA or whatever that card is now. But we'd quite like to sort of roll the clock back a few years and introduce some of our younger players to Sabutio. So this could be the start of something beautiful here, Tim. We might be able to reinvigorate a Wycombe Wanderers love of Sabutio.
Oh, mate, when I was a kid, I had the whole thing. I had the fence and the stadium and everything. And I just had to keep replacing players when my dog invaded the pitch and crushed half of them. That was about the only danger when I was playing Sabutio as a kid. But, and I used to love it. I used to collect all the teams.
I always wondered, because you could buy everything for Sabutio, couldn't you? I always wondered, who on earth bought the referee ones? No,
never went that far. No, never went that far.
Yeah, I can imagine someone's just a big warehouse full of Sabutio referees. That no one's
look online, though, you can get them. You can get them. They're sold at a discount, I think. But
Tim, safe travels, and hopefully you can break your away day hoodoo while you're here with us. We'll find out, and when this is broadcast, we'll know if that's still the case or not. Hopefully, it won't be. Safe travels, and hopefully see you at a game over Christmas.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'll look out for you, mate.
Right, that's it for this week's show. Many thanks to Tim Rickman for his memories. If you'd like to take part in Til Death Us Do part, then email us media@wwfc.com and we'll get you on the show. Right, we'll be back next week with news of our FA Cup exploits against Pompey. In the meantime, come on you Blues.